Hey y'all, it's Meg, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm working on a vampire starter home. So I just recently bought the vampire pack for The Sims 4, which is really weird considering how much I love vampires. But it was one of those packs that I just felt like I didn't quite need yet. But I decided to go ahead and make the purchase, and I was so excited. So I went ahead and dropped into Forbidden Hollow, and I started this cute little, I don't know if you want to say Victorian, Queen Anne type house. I looked at Pinterest for some inspiration, but I ended up kind of making it my own. But it does not qualify as a tiny house or anything like that, as even as small as it seems to look. Unfortunately, I went over the tiles that you need for it to be considered a tiny home. But it's still very cute and it has everything you need in it to start out. And I focused pretty heavily on making sure that there were skill building items in here. And I've actually been playing with this house quite a bit. I built this probably the day after Halloween. So I've been playing in this household for well over a week now, and I've expanded it a lot. The house is no longer this small. It's quite large at this point. So we have a wonderful couple. We have a vampire and her wife, and her wife does not know that she's a vampire. That's kind of the storyline I was working with. Is she had been able to keep it a secret from Samara that she was a vampire. So we have Goldie, who is the vampire, and we have Samara, who is her wife. So as you can see, I'm kind of building the very top level here. That's going to be like the little tower, and this is where Goldie's coffin ends up residing. Now, unfortunately, because of the size of the room, the coffin isn't actually usable, but it's really good for story purposes. So we're not going for realism here. It's just for fun. But I did have a really fun time playing with this family, and in the past week or so since I've been playing with their family, they have adopted two kids. We adopted a toddler first, and then we adopted a child afterwards. And so the house has expanded to acquire two more bedrooms and another bathroom for the two kids. And unfortunately, we have our little cat named Simone. She's Siamese. Unfortunately, Simone has already passed away. Even though she's a kitten here, which, by the way, I had no idea that apparently kittens could not climb upstairs. They have to be picked up. And so you'll see that like when I start placing down the pet stuff, I have not realized this yet. So I fixed that obviously after after I finished building, I realized that she couldn't get up the stairs. So there were some things that had to change, and I ended up changing quite a bit of the insides once I started actually playing because some things just didn't work. They looked great, but it didn't really work for gameplay. So I think that's something I'm gonna have to start taking into account when I'm doing these builds is think about, is this gonna work for gameplay too? Is this not just for the aesthetic? So I did like how it ended up coming out though, and it's a perfect little starter home. I think it came out at just over 21K maybe. So you could probably afford this with two Sims, which is what I have here. And it was honestly great. The only issue was that when I would go into live mode or live mode, uh, that obviously everything would decrease in value. So it was hard to keep up with how much money do I actually have and how much have I actually spent. So I did end up giving myself, I think, a little bit of money towards the end, just to finish fleshing out the house. But otherwise, I tried to stay as best as I could within the starter amount constraints. But it came out really nice, I think. So how are you guys doing? I know my friends in the UK, you guys are back under lockdown. Honestly, the US should be too, but what can we do about that? But so I hope you guys are staying safe and finding things to do. with your time. I know how hard it is to be under lockdown. It's very difficult. In fact, technically, my husband and I have been self-isolating since this started, so it's been very rough. I haven't been to the gym in, gosh, has it been 8 months now? But yeah, so I mean, I hope you guys are doing okay. Let me know down in the comments how you're doing. I would like to know. As for myself, I we haven't really done anything too crazy lately. It's been pretty boring. Um, we have decided that we would like to get another dog. So we've been on the lookout for a younger dog, probably a puppy, to add to our family. We're looking for something small, and while I would like to be able to just go out and adopt any dog that seemed would have a good fit for our family, unfortunately, Padme has a great fear of any dogs that are larger than her. And so we think if we started with a puppy, it would be easy enough to get her used to a small little puppy that has, that she can see and maybe even be motherly towards. We're not sure how she's going to react. So I have been keeping an eye on shelters. I have email notifications set up, and unfortunately, puppies tend to go really fast, especially puppies that are small dogs. Yeah, like everybody wants a small dog and everybody wants a puppy. So we've been struggling a little bit to find a puppy that's going to work out for our family. So, but that is in the works, and we're quite excited about it. And Padme's been doing really good. If some of you aren't aware, she has what is called IMT, which is a disorder where she can bleed easily. But thankfully, she's gotten really good. We've got most of that stuff under control now. Her medicine has been keeping her pretty good, and the doctor is like really happy with where she's at. So, um, yeah, that's really good news for us. And I have not been doing much else though. I know you guys enjoyed my Phasmophobia playthrough a couple weeks ago that we did for our Halloween special. My lovely patrons voted on that. Now, honestly, I was very excited they voted for Phasmophobia because I had been wanting to record us playing it because it's such a good time when we all get together. It's so much fun. So, oh, well, how about we focus on the build now? That'd probably be a good idea. As you can see, I am struggling. I struggled so much with those stairs. I played around, could not figure out how I wanted to do it, and like I probably switched the kitchen around like 10 times. But we do get it to work out, and I really wanted to have a better floor plan than what we ended up with towards the end, but it did work out. That little niche that I put in there is going to be where the laundry goes. Because I think I forgot to initially put laundry in here. So I do end up putting the washer and dryer in that little niche that's going in the bathroom. Whenever I put that wall back up, I've deleted it right now, but the wall will go back up. So here I am just trying to play with things, trying to figure out where I want things to go. And in this build, I didn't use any CC, but I ended up during my playthrough adding some CC because I kind of wanted this build to be more Victorian, and we just didn't have the funds to have anything that was more ornate. We were kind of stuck with like mm, starter level furniture, starter level prices. So everything's like looking pretty basic. And here I'm also like just putting things down to see how they fit because I kind of had like a color scheme in mind. Again, I was thinking we want Victorian, we're wanting to use the vampire pack. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff in the vampire pack, very expensive. And I also really wanted to use this window seat. I think it's from Seasons. So I was like, how are we going to use this? Oh, there's the niche now. Okay, that's where I end up putting the washer and dryer. And here I am playing with the configuration, trying to figure out what am I doing here? And I think I ended up putting the litter box in here too, which was a big mistake on my part, considering Simone couldn't climb the steps to get to it. But anyway, so I do end up putting the master bedroom over here to this side. That's going to be the master bedroom. And it's pretty spacious considering it's, a starter level master. Pretty nice though, not gonna lie. And I put in, oh, I completely forgot that I put in this hidden bookcase door because this was where I was kind of like, oh, this is her secret vampire room. So unfortunately, I ended up putting a lot of the skill building items on this second floor. And the third floor is where her coffin goes. And so once I did that for gameplay purposes, I ended up taking out the hidden bookcase door and just putting in a regular door. And that way everybody could get to the skill building items. Because initially I was like, let's lock the door for everyone but Goldie, to make it just seem that much more, secretive. But okay, so here's the living room, and this took some major finagling. In fact, I cut out a lot of the footage of me trying to figure out what I wanted to do. This was the layout that I settled on, and I kind of went for like this pretty lavender purple color scheme with a little bit of white and cream just to keep it light. But we're using almost all vampire wallpapers here because I really wanted the Victorian, older look. And for the bedroom, I was thinking of kind of like maybe a red and gray with a dark brown color scheme. And unfortunately, like, again, because we're just so limited and we only have so much money, we had to just make do. So, I did put in the washer and dryer on cam. Look at me. Good for you, Megan. So we're getting close-ish to the finish line here. I haven't even put in any floors yet, but I did go with vampire flooring. I went with the wood floor, the slanted wood floor. I just thought those were really pretty and fit in with the house really well. And it was only like $4, which was the standard pricing for the flooring. So, and yes, I play with the bathroom configuration quite a bit. Again, I think the litter box went up here initially, and until Simone became an adult cat, I put everything down on the first floor because I was like, this is not working for me. I cannot pick her up every time she needs to go to the bathroom. So here I am putting in the flooring, and I did go with carpet in the bedroom because I feel like, of course, the bedroom would have carpet in it. Of course it does. But I did go with like, instead of a white, which is what I would normally do, I went for like this, you call that a tan? Dark gray, maybe? I went with a different color. And here I am putting in the coffin. And something that was bothering me was the roof going into this room. It bothered me so much. And so I started putting other things in here at first to see like what all can I fit in here before I put in the coffin. And really it's almost nothing. So I ended up putting in the coffin up there as well as a side table to cover up where the roof was coming in. So pretty smart of me. That way I didn't have to look at it every time we went into that room. Not that we went into it very much, because if you're a vampire, you can do what they call dark meditation, which increases your vampire energy. But if you do sleep in the coffin, it's still, you get your energy up. I think it might even give you vampire points. I can't recall. I'm brand new to the pack, so if I'm saying anything that isn't true, feel free to correct me in the comments, because I don't know. I just started playing with it, so I still have a lot to learn. And also, I was playing with mods. Today, I don't this video will go up on Friday, but today is Tuesday, and they have released a new update to The Sims 4. So all my mods are broken, totally fine. But I was also playing with mods, and so I wasn't entirely sure what some of was actually the vampire pack versus what was the mods. So yeah, I might be saying some things wrong. So here I am putting in some of the skill building items and kind of realizing, oh, if I if I close this room off to anybody but Goldie, that's not gonna, they won't be able to build their skills. So, but that's okay. We kind of just needed we needed a room for those skill building items since the rest of the house was pretty small. And I still wanted them to like have a pretty proper size kitchen, especially because Samara's her aspiration is a chef aspiration. It's a foodie aspiration. I forget which one it is. I think it might be like a master chef aspiration. So I wanted to make sure that even though we had starter level stuff, that like it was still pretty nice for her. And I don't think I've even mentioned that I also gave this lot some traits. I hadn't never done that before, and I wanted to play with them because I noticed that the house down the street from this one has a trait called Vampire Nexus, which means it attracts vampires. And I was like, what traits can we give this house? And I ended up giving this house the haunted trait, which is annoying. I figured that out pretty quickly when I started playing with this household because every night ghosts come in and they wake your Sims up, they break your stuff, and I was like, oh no, no, this we're gonna have to do away with this trait. But in fact, I lived with the trait for several days before I actually got tired of it and took it off. But I also put up, I believe, the penny one, the one where you can find money in strange places. So like sometimes when they open a book, they get 4 simoleons. And I gave it another one, but then I think I took it off because I was like, oh, we should probably not do 3 traits. That might just be too much. Oh, I thought I was going to give it the official vampire lair or something like that. I almost gave it that one, but I decided against that because it was just too much. But we're closing in on the end here, so most of what is left is the exterior, which unfortunately we didn't have much money left. It looks like I'm looking at it; it's real small on my screen. Looks like we have 100 simoleons and something. So what I ended up doing was I did go into debug, and right here I'm messing with the roof line because it's not working for me, but. So I did end up going to debug, and while debug is very fickle, I had a hard time with debug. So we do have some stuff from debug just to fill out the outside a little bit more. I've got some trees specifically from the vampire pack. God, I almost couldn't say that. Specifically from the vampire pack. Because I wanted to look how large the slot is. This is one of the smaller lots in this world, and it's so big. So I was like, let's get me some vampire trees, and let's see how big we can get it. All right, guys, we are heading into screenshots now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Special thank you to my patrons. I love you guys. If anybody's interested in becoming a patron, links are down below. See you next time.
I was told it was urgent. Come see me tonight. In the circle we're flirting and we dance for hours. She knew that she had me, but I didn't realize I'm sleeping with a vampire. Got lost in the city when we drove through the night. Stopped by in an alley and she kissed me while she knew that she had me, but I didn't see it now. I'm sleeping with a vampire. When morning is come, she's always gone. She will call me when she's run out of young blood, of young blood. She hates to see me fall. That's why she leaves at sunrise.